ultimate health, bonus health went down a little bit, correct?
It did.
Okay, so they just tuned him up a little bit, so
It
taking
did
some strength away
It
from.
did at high levels. It went up at the first and second.
Okay.
So he's less tanky in the late game, but he does have a more dominant, slightly more dominant early phase. But if anybody's going to play Renekton, it's going to be Sunday.
Now, what do you think would have to be picked by the side of SBENU for him to lock that in?
I
Or
don't-
do you think that he would just be like, oh, you know what, it's SBENU, let me play Renekton?
Maybe. If you're asking me to explain the recent logic behind KT's drafts, I'm afraid I can't do that for you, Achilles. I did not, in fact, pick a Jugger Draven composition.
That is very true. And the composition before that one wasn't even that good.
Oh,
either.
no, it was not.
Triple AD.
Well, you can run triple AD. I mean,
But it just wasn't,
Jin-Air,
it was
like,
not set up well.
a specialist in that, but yes, I agree with you.
But of course, pick and ban has begun. Lee Sin, respect ban coming out from KT, keeping that one away from Flawless. To round out, it will be Nidalee and Nautilus as well. And Kalista actually made it through. So I get to eat my words earlier where I said that we wouldn't see Kalista for a very long time, so she does make it. SBENU, of course, banning out Gragas, Gangplank, and Trundle, so taking some very tanky and heavy damage members off of the market.
But Score's an excellent Kindred player, and now they have no disruption to disrupt a Kindred with a Gragas or a Trundle, so
This is very true.
that could easily come back to bite them. A lot of junglers banned out this time.
Yeah, really heavy jungle focus, and then, you know, like you said, the Kalista, or the the Kindred still making it through. Corki's something that we've seen.
It should be Corki Kindred for
yeah.
KT right here.
Yeah, that making it through would be really impressive if they actually pass up on it.
There's the Poppy, though, too. And the Poppy, obviously, does a lot of work in Sunday's hands. Most played champion this season.
Yep, so will be the Poppy. And the Corki, we'll see where that one's going to end up. Could be flies or arrows in the bot lane. And that's actually going to be a Azir lock in here. Already coming in for Sasan. So not quite the first pick that we saw from BED in Game 2, but still very early Azir pick here. Feeling confident. The Bird God is coming back.
He is a bird god. That's true. The Horus ripoff. So Alistair. So at least they have, with Alistair Azir, at least they have some disruption for Kindred.
Yeah.
And the Grave's still up.
And also some pretty reliable engage with the Alistair with the Fate's Call as well from Kalista. So can always throw him in, get that double knock-up chain into the Pulverize. So pretty solid so far from SBENU. We'll see what they want to round out with when it comes to their jungle and top laners, which will be their last round. Like you said, Score very adept on that Kindred. We could see that one come through. Flipped back to it. It's probably going to be the lock-in.
Bard here for Hachani. Someday has played Poppy 7 times this season and is 5-2. And I checked. Renekton is still his most played champion of all time.
Oh, yeah?
He used to just play Renekton every game.
Just spam it. Sometimes you find your favorite champion and you just have to keep playing. It's just unfortunate that it's not considered a meta pick. But if there's time for KT to experiment, I guess this would be the time to do it. Not against Jin-Air.
I don't know what they were doing against Jin-Air.
But it will be Bard and Kindred locked in. So 80 or mid going to be the last pick from KT. So keeping it loose and not showing their full hand. So very smart by them. We'll see what SBENU wants to round out with. Very quick lock-ins. It's going to be the Elise in the jungle and then Rammus in the top lane.
Really weak early wave clear on the side of SBENU. In the side lanes, before you get the Rammus ult, before you get the Hurricane onto Kalista. Lulu all the way down in the basement of this draft. Fly, not really known for playing some of these high damage assassin mids like LeBlanc or Zed or Kassadin. That's not fair. KT actually started out this season playing 1-3-1 split push with Kassadin pretty effectively.
Which is surprising considering that we just haven't seen much Kassadin, period.
It's not very good.
Recent history, yeah. He used to be like the one untunable champion, and then they were just like, it would just make him not viable at all.
Yep. And the Zillion, no surprise.
Okay. So it will be the Corki 80 carry, and then
you-
Zillion in the mid lane.
If you don't ban the Zillion and you give KT Poppy, this is going to happen. The last time they had this was game 1 of their last series versus Longzhou. The kill score was 14-0 in terms of KT, and they wrecked them. So this is a huge, huge comfort composition for KT.
14-0 usually does imply that somebody is getting wrecked.
And how do you stop this? KT is merciless at diving turrets with Poppy Zillion. Hey, they also have Lamb's Respite to keep themselves alive. Oh, look at that Bard there. You know what he could do? He could stop turrets from shooting. And Corki has the package. So good luck staying alive under your turrets there, SBENU. They will not save you now.
Yeah, and of course Kalista going to be completely oppressed by this Corki early on. The burst damage that he's going to get, even just off of the Sheen, compared to Kalista's damage is going to be pretty significant.
Well,
so.
level 1, level 2. I mean, Corki Bard, when you try and play Thunderlord's Bard and you just wreck people with those early trades, can be, you can win a lane straight out if you play it right.
Yeah, well, if there's anything KT can do in this matchup against SBENU, I think it is that they can play it right. There's very few ways to play it wrong, really, at least as far as statistics have showed us.
Well, I don't know. This is like the ultimate KT comfort composition from this season. It's going to be really hard, I think, for SBENU to beat this.
Yes, it is, but last game of the night, last match of the night, I should say, SBENU versus KT coming up.
Everybody wants to rule the world. There's a room where the light won't find you. Holding hands while
Pretty good showing for SBENU, actually. Here in the audience, giving them some good cheers. Seeing if they can give them enough encouragement to get a victory out of them. We'll have to see here. Soskin, the man on your screen, likely going to be the one doing the most work here for Sonicboom. Not sure if it's going to be enough, though. Fly's Zillion is going to be pretty damn hard to play against. We can see so far 2 CS lead for KT as a whole.
Killing wards.
The bot lane taking the lead early.
They killed 2 wards in the same brush.
Yeah, I don't know why they thought that it would work. To put them, I mean, maybe if you just put them down at the same time, so that's like one of these will live.
Surely they won't kill this second one.
Well, they lose both of them. So.
Oh, nobody wants. Yes, we have the lane swap for the first time tonight.
Yeah, so gonna be seeing that one come through, and that means that the game is officially boring.
Oh, it's too bad.
They ruined it. So I mean, we'll have to see if Arrow and Hachani want to match the swap, or if they're just gonna go ahead and maintain farm in the bot side.
Comes
Could go either
Hachani.
way. Yeah, Hachani trying to roam in here.
He got one.
Yeah, he did take away one of the small raptors. Haha!
Small Bard victories.
You cannot possibly win now.
Well, but that means that SBENU is not actually going to punish. They decided that they were going to take the Gromp and then walk into the top side instead. So it will be a Krugstar weak side clear for KT. Secret also is going to face check a Sunday.
Yep. And he takes a bit of damage from Sunday. Still kind of poking around there, but it's got to be a little careful. You can always have Score rotate up to that side, but looks like Score's just going to continue on through the jungle. Hachani just says, you know what, I'm just going to roam around, do Bard things. I don't need to be in lane.
Or taking this turret particularly quickly.
I need meeps.
That, I don't know how to take that sentence.
I think you just take it at face value. That's it just needs meeps, that's all. But no, finally goes back down here with Arrow. And we can see Soul with the room up to the top side, going to be trying to push down this tower. Someday and Score not quite matching pace here to go for this turret in the bot side of the map, so this should be SBENU getting
Flawless.
the lead here.
Flawless actually coming up for the turret pressure here without Poppy being there means that SBENU is going to have a significant tempo advantage. But Bubbling is going to get more jungle.
Yeah.
Or not Bubbling, Score. I just see Kindred and I think Bubbling now.
And I agreed with you too, so it's been a long night already. But, no, I mean, they'll be able to, looks like they'll be able to take this, so they won't be too far behind.
Well, but this is going to deny some farm to this Poppy, and
Yeah.
Soul is just going to have more time on the wave. They're not going to start pushing it too aggressively, and instead we are just going to see the mass recalls. But this will give just a very slight edge to Seoul.
Good on Sunday, denying out as many minions as humanly possible. Gets rid of that wave. And then they do take down the towers, so still going to be even here 1-1 as we see the top and bottom fall respectively for either side.
The nice thing that this did for SBENU was by sending the jungler up there, they actually forced KT into all-inning in the bottom turret, which meant that Score could not counter jungle in the bottom side of the map. So even though KT started off with a little bit of a greedier start, they didn't 3-buff them. So minor differences, of course, very minor given the duration of that swap and the way that the teams responded.
You can see now Flawless will finally roam down and get that red buff for himself in just a minute. Meanwhile, push is continuing here in that bottom and top side of the map as Arrow starts shoving that wave into the tower, and you know, nobody's going to answer, so it looks like we're just going to have a double tier 1 tower swap between these teams for the start of this match.
So Kilios, you're new to Korean esports, so I can tell you interesting stories about the history of KT. So I don't know if you know this, but there is a basketball team in Korea, professional basketball team, that is sponsored by KT.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me.
And their name is KT Sonicboom.
Huh.
Which of course is SBENU's name.
Yeah.
But, so originally, well not originally, but for most of KT's early time as an esports team, they were not called Rolster, which is the combination of roller and coaster. Of course.
Yep.
So you might have guessed. But, as we see the Dragon taken here by SBENU and the Rift Herald taken by KT. All right. So they were called Magic Ends, as in the word magic and then the letter N and then S. Magic Ends, which I think was supposed to be like magicians or something. I don't know. But in any case, for a brief but hilarious period, they attempted to align their basketball brand with their esports brand. So they thought, we're not going to name the team Sonicboom. They decided that they were going to name the team KT Fingerboom. This lasted, by the way, if you Google KT Fingerboom, you can see the logo they released. This lasted for about 3 weeks.
Where did the finger part come from?
It has like a mouse in the logo. I don't know. This lasted for about 3 weeks before they realized the terrible error of their ways and changed it to Rolster. And they tried to bury it forever. But I remember KT. So,
and yet,
that
Kongdu Monster still exists.
That's not as bad. But
no, it's not.
But in any case, yes, KT Fingerboom, because they wanted to align themselves with Sonicboom. But now we actually have an esports team called Sonicboom. So there you go. While we enjoyed the lane swap, we get history of Korean esports teams. Always remember KT Fingerboom.
That is phenomenal and a story that I actually did not know about. So I am happy that I have now been educated on KT Fingerboom. Oh God, there is so much potential with that. Too.
Yes, there is.
Oh man, I think they should bring it back.
No, I don't think they should.
Oh, they totally should. That's really funny though. Speaking of KT, though, I finally got my KT internet installed today.
Nice.
It's
Nice
quite
plug.
nice.
Nice plug.
Yeah. My KT internet and my SK Telecom cell phone.
Nice.
Now, yeah, I mean, if KT plays this series as good as my internet services, then it'll be a stop. Now, it really is, like, insane. Like, being in America, you're just like, man, I wish Google Fiber would just move to my neighborhood already. And then you come to Korea, and it's just like, man, it's like Google Fiber is literally everywhere.
$20 a month for 100 up, 100 down. That's right. Dream is alive in Korea.
Yeah. But who needs 100 up, 100 down? I'm talking about that gigabit internet.
That's actually really cheap here, too, but kind of, I don't know. Is that really necessary?
Whatever. I can download games fast.
Let's see.
My League client will probably still patch very slowly, though.
At least you have like 6 ping.
That's true. That's the other thing that's wonderful.
All right, so looks like a little bit more pressure. We have seen Arrow come out a little bit ahead of this lane swap. Someday has been kept down just a little bit by the way that Soul got the faster tempo. He got to lane a little bit quicker, so he does also have a 2-level advantage onto Someday so far, so they're doing a good job of keeping a player we would consider kind of the main carry of this KT roster in a bit of a pit.
KT roster?
The KT, the Rolster roster.
But it is someday, which means that
He's very good at bouncing back from these situations.
he will be back. He will find
especially
an
with
inch
this,
and take a mile.
especially with this long lane, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna see things even up. Nuclear getting some farm as they push it all the way back down these delightfully long lanes. Someday also just starting out with a cowl, so no. Uh-oh. Arrow's here.
Arrow just going for the drive-by. Like, hello.
And then he came by for experience.
Yep. I'm just going to take this ambient experience and then just...
No, he got it funneled into him.
Yep. Double cull for these 80 carries. Not too surprised since we did have the swap come through. So, pretty good for both, but when Arrow gets that payout and he gets that much closer to that Trinity Force, it'll be pretty great for his burst, especially as we see them getting ready for these little skirmishes around the Dragon Pit. It doesn't spawn for another 2 minutes or just under 2 minutes or so, so get a little bit of time for these guys to accrue some CS and get some items before we see any real fighting come out.
That was a riveting crab fight.
That, yeah, just 10 out of 10. I've seen some crab fights in my day, but that was the best.
SBENU trying to punish the double freeze by getting damage down onto the mid lane tier 1. Nothing else for them to take though, so this is a really good time for KT to slow push these waves, because if they wait long enough at the bottom side, they can develop a huge wave and then just take the dragon. And SBENU will have to deal with that or lose a massive amount of golden XP.
Yep, so far, SBENU doing a decent job falling behind in CS. In a couple places, mostly going to be Arrow.
Look, Someday's back.
Yep, Someday's back, baby. And he's caught up in CS.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
Caught up in levels, caught up in CS. Thank you, long lane freezes.
Johnny going for some vision. Goes over the wall, almost runs into the face of Secret.
He
and
really
Flawless.
doesn't want to be there.
Yeah. This is almost reminiscent of Headlife's last time playing the part. He took a magical journey pretty much to that same exact wall and ran straight into an Alistar and paid for it with his life. Score coming around here. Not going to be able to contest that Rift Herald, just a little bit too low. Doesn't want to give up a kill. So we'll go over to the side.
But they have time to take Dragon now.
SBENU, and
there's not a very good Rift Herald timing.
And I
for
don't know
SBENU.
what's going on with the gold count.
Oh God!
SBENU somehow got like, I don't even know what figure that would be, because it's expressed in thousands. They just got. What kind of number is that?
Neat. That's a new hidden feature of League of Legends that I haven't seen before.
2.1.5 million thousand. I don't know what number that would even equate to. I don't know if that's a number that can be reached. Oh, nice steal away by Flawless, though. Score all on his lonesome Lamb's respite there to keep him alive, but only for so long. That's going to be Dragon and First Blood going over to Sasin. Nice moves by SBENU.
Get there right in the nick of time. Catch Score by himself. Arrow is in the top side farming. They thought they had enough time after that Herald. They chased them all the way back down, but very, very close, and SBENU arrives all at the same time. I don't know what's going on.
It's literally losing gold. It's the number is decreasing.
But remember, there are no bugs, Achilles. There are only hidden features.
It's very true. Let's take another look at this, though.
Oh, 43 HP, so close. And with everybody there, they use teleport for that. It's pretty high priority use of teleport because they do lose a bit of farm in the top side in order to secure that dragon, but it is number 2 and it's only 13 minutes into the game.
Yeah. Good stuff by SBENU so far.
Well, SBENU has actually been looking a lot better in their early games, I would say. Surprisingly, they did hold, they won a game off of CJ, and then in the Rocks Tigers games, even though Rocks closed out their advantages very quickly once they got them, SBENU actually looked pretty solid in terms of trading objectives and making shot calls for about the first 20 minutes of each of those games.
Yeah, I remember that series, and it was really impressive. For a second, it was like, oh my god, SBENU might actually take a couple games off of Rocks, but weren't able to do that, unfortunately, for them. But they, like you said, they have been looking significantly better. They've been on a rise as far as their team play goes.
They haven't been on a rise as far as their champion selection goes, though.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, we haven't seen.
Nobody's playing Rise anymore.
We haven't seen him at all. They tried to buff him, and it just didn't matter. So
Well, after they hammered him into the ground with the Nerf bat.
no chain stuns or chain roots for you. But here's 40 extra damage on your Q.
Oh, yay.
Huzzah! But now still a slow-paced game coming out from both of these teams, and KT especially going to be playing more methodically moving forward here, giving up that first blood and 2 dragons to SBENU. Pretty unlike themselves.
Well,
But
once they have all their ults now, and that's where they really start turning on the Zillion turret dive mechanism, as it were. Interesting build here. Somebody looks like he's actually going to complete his Spirit Visage before he goes for the rest of the Iceborne Gauntlet.
trying to get as tanky as possible. Then get that nice, annoying slow for himself. Looks like we might have a little bit of a bunch up here in the bot side as they try to look for a gank, but
Well, they have a TP advantage. They have a deep ward. Here we go.
Throw it out. This is just going to be the flash away by Nuclear. Cocoon immediately on to score. They jump in here. He's going to take a lot of damage as Arrow is just trying to burst him down. Here comes Fly. Bomb comes through, and Arrow will finish him off. Secret on the run. Still has the Alistar ultimate. He will be safe. I don't think they can continue this one forward, but they're going to lose the mid tower for it.
Yeah, they're not actually going to push into the tier 2 either. They're simply going to fall back right now, even though Someday still has his TP up. So they trade a kill for a turret. And SBENU's been really good at reacting to plays and making cross-map objectives. They routinely traded up against the Rocks Tigers. Tigers were doing the same thing, just playing for kills. And SBENU was picking them apart in the early game, trading those kills for towers. So Fly was the one to TP. I thought it would be Someday, but Someday just wanted to keep that freeze going and try and catch up once again when it came to CS.
Yeah, wants to be as tanky as possible so that when he does TP into these fights, he doesn't just get ripped apart immediately. But yeah, I mean, mid tower going down, that's pretty significant here. And a great little boon for SBENU moving forward.
I'm just surprised they didn't go for the actual pressure onto the bottom with TP up, and the fact that they don't have wave clear. Like Sassen was in the mid lane attacking their tier 1. I think they could have easily picked up that tier 2 turret in a trade.
Yeah, and Secret was almost down, so they didn't have that tanky front line really. So they very easily could have at least gotten a significant
Sold
amount
it
of
in
damage.
FTP. Worst case scenario, Flawless and Sassen show up and you TP Poppy in.
Yep. So odd choice of calls here by KT. Looks like they're going to try to make another one though. Move straight over to this Rift Herald. Will be the third of the game, second for them. Probably the last one that we will be seeing. Dragon getting ready to spawn in 1 minute and 20 seconds. It would be the third for SBENU. Just, you know,
Who got
18
that?
minutes.
Arrow and Score were like fighting over the Herald up there.
It's mine. We'll see who gets it when we take a peek at these guys. But yeah, Dragon getting ready to come up. And again, third Dragon at 18 minutes is the fastest that we've seen tonight. We have really, really slow Dragon takes. The earliest being, I believe, about 10.5 minutes in that last game.
Well, we had standard lanes in all those games, so that does slow down the pace of Dragons ordinarily.
Quite true. We'll see if KT's going to be able to net their first one. Definitely want to stop that 5th Dragon train for SBENU, especially this early on in the match. For SBENU to get 3 Dragons would be pretty scary for KT. Teleport will be available for both of these top laners. Fly, not quite going to have his, but hovering around that mid lane. He's a Zillion. He can speed himself up as well. He should be able to collapse should any fight break out. You can see that SBENU are getting prepped for this.
KT may not want to fight this right now. The cowl is done onto the Rammus, and combined with his heavy amount of armor, it may make it difficult. Someday still hasn't completed his first MR item, or his first full tank item. And now Sassen dropped that turret, and it looks like...
Yep, be good to hold the wave.
they're going to go for it. Rammus is simply walking down
the
right
Bard
now.
ultimate, but that's about it. But of course, you have to try to, yeah, you're not going to be able to do anything. There's a Callista there, of course. Just extra confirmation on the execute. So, third Dragon already here for SBENU, who are making all the right moves to stay ahead. Still only 700 gold separating these guys, but the closer they can get to that 5th Dragon, I mean, we're looking at potentially 30 minutes for it.
Yep, huge actually for them. KT needs to start playing more aggressively, but usually this composition that they use for dives, you have to have something to dive, and with all of the outer turrets going down in the side lanes so quickly, they haven't been able to make a play, and they haven't dared dive a tier 2 yet.
Yep.
Mid lane, the only one that they could feasibly go for right now, and obviously that's dangerous considering how fast the side lanes can collapse. They haven't been able to get that momentum that they typically have with this composition, and that means that they're down 1,000 gold. But as you note, the dragons are the big factor here.
Yep. Of course, in this meantime, this is just opportunities for Score to stay in the jungle and try to farm up as much as possible. Get that sated Devourer. Let's see how many stacks he's at when we hover over him next.
Yeah, he's definitely getting close.
Yeah. I mean, 19-minute mark, he should be within, I'd say about 6. Getting it, maybe within 10. But he's been in the jungle pretty much this entire time.
KT just haven't been, they've just been playing a farm game. Sitting around, not really contesting objectives. So that's the one dragon that they lost. And that means no real action here. I don't know what KT's plan is or what exactly they're going to be waiting for in this game. They have their item power spikes right now, 2 items onto Zillion. Starting to stack up that Rod of Asia, should be completed relatively soon, fully stacked. They have the Trinity Force. Sated Devour is about the only thing they could be waiting for. Maybe a 3rd item onto Someday.
And so you just see them like posturing forward in the enemy jungle, not really getting any vision. Everything that they did get just going to get swept out.
I mean, Score has a Skirmisher Saber in this game.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be contributing as much as if he had had that Tracker's Knife. It means that warding in general be a little bit lower.
Yep, still waiting for the hover over so I can see how many stacks he's at, because it should be getting there now.
Yep.
Fly just trying to apply some pressure here. Zone off Sasson, make him go around the long way. But still not really able to get much pressure on this mid tower. You can see it's barely taken any damage, about 20% has been knocked off of it. Sasson, of course, those Sand Soldiers going to be pretty good clearing out the waves. Arrow's been really far forward down here trying to pressure this bot side too.
Well, they really want to start evening out some of these objectives. Pushing a pressure advantage. They're going to give the red buff right over to Arrow, so he can continue to harass this Callista out of lane. Nuclear is still without that Hurricane, meaning that he can't really shove this wave out, and they have to be concerned about double TP. But they're not going to. They're just going to take the red buff and leave. I suppose at the end, nothing will happen.
Yep. And we are just at a standstill as far as the gold separating these guys. It's only closed by about 200. You can see everybody pretty close. The biggest deficit. Oh my God, what is this? Really,
sneak.
Really aggressive Baron take here. And Soul showing in the mid lane, so there's no way that they would think that this is happening.
Baron at 22 minutes. Sasson just is wailing on this thing with 3 Sand Soldiers. Somebody's going to check.
Oh, he does spot it, but is it too late? Score has to come over the wall to try to get the steal. Gets
Gets
knocked
knocked
out by the Emperor's Mud, but
Poppy
Someday steals it with the Poppy, takes it away. And oh my God, are you kidding me? KT. Someday is a god. Someday is just so damn good. That was amazing. Stolen with the charge.
Wow. Okay. Well,
I guess
that's how this game ends.
I know, yeah. And it was going so well for SBENU.
I feel so bad for SBENU. That was actually a really good idea. I didn't even know you could do that with just an Elise and an Azir in 22 minutes.
Yeah,
but they were
really
making it work.
Impressive that they had the damage to do that.
Sasson played it really well too. He put the Azir wall up, and then Score tried to flash in and got bounced, or to drop into the pit and got bounced backwards. So he couldn't actually hit the smite, and then Flawless muffs the smite.
The unseen steal is the deadliest. No one would expect the Poppy to possibly steal this one away. God, I wish we had a replay of that one. That was absolutely hilarious.
I just feel so bad for SBENU now. Like, you're doing so well, and you haven't won a single best of 3, and then that happens to you. That's like soul crushing.
That would tilt me off the face of the planet. That would be it for me. I'd throw in the towel and just surrender the game. Yeah, and now we can see the pressure is just opened up here for KT, pushing in on all 3 tier 2s simultaneously. Fly even getting a bit of damage on that mid one. Just,
and there's still no, well, at least they have
heartbreaker.
Hurricane now, and they have Sunfire and Rammus, so the wave clear situation isn't so bad, but it's still pretty bad, and that is just such a death knell against the wave clear and the pressure that KT can put on. They have 2 Sheens in the side lanes. It's just sad now. There's nothing left but sadness.
Yeah, I don't know what to think there for SBENU. That's really rough stuff.
No.
Oh, and Flawless! Not much more to say. Can't even flash away. The burst is just too huge. Off the catch there, and he goes down, and this is the downward spiral as KT just start running away with the game. Net their first dragon off the backside of that pick on Flawless. All hopes of the 5th dragon really just kind of crumble around SBENU.
This is so sad.
They were so close.
On the plus side, at least they look like they're getting better.
That's true, but it's only so, like, playoffs are getting ready to happen.
Well, we know they're not
Near
making
future,
playoffs,
so
but at the very least,
it's like you could have done this after week 3.
Yeah, showing a certain amount of improvement would obviously be nice for SBENU, and honestly, I think they have. The last 2 weeks, even though they lost so 2 to Rocks, I really didn't think they played pretty okay, especially compared to their current or their usual standard.
Yeah.
And this game, they looked like they might even be able to win, especially with that sneaky Baron.
I was gonna say it slips through their fingers, but it was snatched out of their hands. Is
Well,
much more
Flawless. He just missed the smite and then walked into a brush and died and gave up the dragon too. So, not his finest hour.
Oh, Fly takes a bit of damage, but of course it is a Zillion who can stay alive for all of eternity. Secret, Fate's Call comes in. Do they want to throw him back in? They do get a double pop-up on the score, but the ultimate wears off and he goes down. Arrow finds that kill.
They did not want to send Secret back in there.
Yeah,
The Unbreakable Will was pretty much over at that point, so Poppy slams him into the wall, waits for the ultimate to end, and so too does Secret's life.
Yeah, if anything, use that first and then throw him in before the Unbreakable Will, because you're just wasting time for that ultimate to wear off while he's in the spirit realm. I don't really know where he goes during that time, but just rough stuff. Miss SBENU, this is a pretty big heartbreaker, I would say.
Yeah, now there's a 7,000 gold lead for KT when they once had a deficit. So really making full use of that Baron.
Yep. We were 600 apart in favor of SBENU, and now we're 6K apart in favor of KT. So, just taking that lead and multiplying it significantly.
Life is hard for a Sonic Boom.
Apparently it is. Apparently it's the most difficult life that you could possibly have in Champions Korea. So
We'll see. They may be able to beat Kongdu now.
I think that's very possible. Kongdu has looked
I actually think
pretty
SBENU is
rough.
better than Kongdu right now, so we will see.
I will agree with you on that. I think it's still a series that can obviously go either way, but as far as rotations around the map and decision making, SBENU definitely beating out Kongdu in those departments.
Yeah, they were beating out KT in that department in this game. If it hadn't been for a misplay, the decision wasn't bad.
That would have been, oh god, that would have been such a good play if they were just able to lock it in. I could only just imagine the faces on KT's members, like when they realized, oh crap.
They two-man Baron in 22 minutes?
They just took Baron with Azir Elise. It's like, no, they can't be doing Baron. The Rammus is in the mid lane. But it was not meant to be, I suppose. Someday had something to say about it. And this is a very exciting fight in the bot side. Wet Noodle fights.
Thrilling.
Loving this tank meta.
All right.
For the top laners.
Hey, you can play carries in the top lane too.
You can. But we haven't really seen it. I mean, Gangplank comes out every now and then, but tonight it's been mostly tanks.
Also, the teams that have been playing, especially CJ, is mostly a tank top team.
Yeah.
And Gangplank has been banned a bunch.
True, he was banned in I think every game. Yep, literally every game.
Don't want Flame having that, and he was banned in the first game here because you don't want Someday having that.
Yep. Definitely don't want Someday having that. But apparently you don't want Someday to have anything, because even if he has a Poppy, he will take everything from you.
Well, you know he's going to pick Poppy too if it's available. That's
Yeah.
what KT's been doing this entire season.
Exactly. Like you said, I think it's his most played champion so far this season.
It is, as a matter of fact. So, blue buff in some quality time with Baron Bates.
Oh,
Flawless
this gets
gets it.
stolen by Flawless. Score gets engaged on. Lamb's Respite is available. Bard Ultimate comes out, but by a little bit of time as Arrow comes around the sidelines. Lamb's Respite thrown down. Let's see if they can save his life. Looks like Secret almost goes down. Fate's Call comes through. They throw him right back in. Ultimate's ticking this time. He should be able to stay alive. Now Hachani on the other side goes down. It's going to be Flawless finding that kill. It's going to be support for support, however. AD carry of KT does pick up that kill.
Still, the even trade is about all SBENU could hope for. They tried to kill Score, but it was Bard Ultimate into Lamb's Respite into Zillion Resurrection.
Yep.
Good luck killing anybody on KT.
Other than Hachani, who is just not with anybody else.
Score's back. The
Oh.
revenge of Score.
Yep, Nuclear takes a bit of damage. Score with that Sated Devourer. I didn't even look at his items for a while. He's already got a Maul of Malmortius and a Rapid Fire Cannon.
So fire cannon's a little weird, but
Just trying to,
he's got to get
I don't know.
that range.
yeah, just stretch his range as far as possible so he can get the fat Sated Devourer damage in. Dragon getting ready to spawn though in 5 seconds. It would be the 5th of the game, 4th for SBENU if they can net that, which would be pretty damn good for them, and I'm sure they want to get their hands on it, but KT not going to let it go without a fight. It's hard to take this one away though, because Nuclear will be here and can confirm this, the takeaway with the rend.
Arrow's the package too. This is really dangerous for SBENU.
Yeah. Someday coming around the backside, they do not have
The
vision of
world's
this.
slowest flank.
Oh boy, here comes Bard Ultimate, catches Sauce and throws out the ultimate, boots away the Callista. The fight is broken out. Emperor's Divide comes down, but it's not really separating them from much. Flawless goes in way too deep. Hachani with a very fast magical journey, stuns him up into the wall. He goes down. It's going to be Arrow picking up that kill. And that's going to be SBENU running for the hills. Arrow not quite done yet. Jukes forward, Jukes back. And that's going to be the Dragon started up and should be a very easy takeaway as the Smite is now available here from Score. Sasson going to do what he can, but just a little bit too late on that Sand Soldier. So second Dragon now for KT and a 6.7 thousand gold lead.
Take a look at that fight again. They go on to Soul immediately. Somebody does a great job just removing the Callista from the fight, but Sasson responds with a really good Emperor's Divide to push Someday all the way back out of the back line. If they hadn't done that, they would have had a lot of problems. Someday probably would have cleaned up that fight and more members would have died than already did. So nice ult from Sasson to save that fight. Now they're going in again.
Oh, yes, they are. It's going to be the Lamb's Spike coming down. Arrow has so much damage, though. Almost takes down Secret, but they throw him back in. And it looks like this is going to be a double kill. Arrow comes back up, actually. He pops down Nuclear after the Zillion ult comes through. They can't stun Soul into the wall, though. And his ultimate will passively take down Arrow, so it's a 2-for-1. And like you said, you can only hope for even trades. Getting an advantageous trade like that is huge for SBENU at this point.
Yeah, they found the picks that they needed, but they're going to lose a lot of CS. Nope, Sasson's already here at the bottom side, so they're not going to lose too much. And the QSS is finally coming out. Arrow and Score both having them now. Means that Soul will have a lot of problems finding an appropriate target to taunt. Arrow actually managed to kill somebody after reviving, killed Nuclear after coming back to life.
Yep.
Flies ultimate, but 5 versus 3. Means it's still a favorable trade here for SBENU.
Yep.
They can't take the Baron or anything though, so doesn't mean a whole lot.
Mortal Reminder coming in for Nuclear, trying to reduce as much healing as possible off of that Lamb's Respite. I forget, did we figure out if the
No, we
Zillion...
have not figured out.
Okay.
Not that I know. I know Papa and I were talking about this the other day, but we don't know whether or not Mortal Reminder reduces the heal on a Zillion ultimate when you come back to life. I think we concluded that it probably does, but I don't know for sure. I have to assume that it does if all these players are building it versus Zillion.
We need our detectives on this one. We're trying to figure it out. Looks like SBENU, though, going to go ahead and start up this Baron yet again. He's going to try for it, this time with all 5 members. TP's coming in from Fly. Baron down below half HP. They have to try to take this one away from the Callista. Bard ultimate to buy a little bit of time. Nuclear gets stunned up, and they take him out. And just like that, all confirmation for the Baron goes out the window. And that is going to be the second Baron pickup for KT here at 34 minutes. Secret on the wrong side of the map, trying to run out of here, but I think Kachani is going to find himself a very delayed solo kill.
Kachani is chasing the cow. Oh, he still has ult.
Yeah, he used his ultimate.
It's okay, Ignite will tick through it. Goodbye.
Yep.
Face
Goodbye.
the power of true damage, Alistair.
Have fun with that one, and just like that, it's going to be the inhibitor line broken, and maybe even the Nexus Towers. 20 seconds until Nuclear or Flawless come back up. And it looks like KT are just going to go ahead and push in and finish off this game.
They are taking out these turrets really quickly. A couple Sheens doing quick work.
Lamb's Respite to keep Arrow alive. Here comes Sauce and pushes them all out. Arrow has the juke to the side, still has a Zillion ultimate, but it does fade. Someday comes in trying to lock down the Azir as best as possible. Nexus down below half HP. Score just juking around. They will be able to finish it off. Arrow dies in the end, but to no avail. KT with a very convincing win over SBENU Sonicboom.
Well, after they got the Baron.
After they got a very insane...
Some shaky play at first, I think, from KT. Looked really indecisive, but as soon as they catch SBENU in a mistake, they capitalize, turn that Baron into a huge gold lead, and are able to easily clean out the rest of SBENU and win the game off of that second Baron buff.
Rough day for SBENU Sonicboom fans.
That is such a hard... I feel so bad for SBENU.
That was really rough. Like I said, my heart already goes out to Sasson so much when he loses games. That was one that they should have. They very much had the advantage in. Really upsetting to see it go south because of a steal by a Poppy charge.
Rough. Rough indeed.
Yep.
So KT comes back with their Zillion Poppy combination, the KT Classic this season. Will they let them have Zillion again? Sasa doesn't even look bad this time.
Yeah, he actually doesn't. He looks like, well...
I don't think you can be mad about this game. You had advantages, and it was like a freak accident that caused you to lose that Baron. It was a good call. Sasa, in fact, did the most damage of anybody in that game.
Yeah. Yeah, he was almost 4,000 ahead of Arrow on his Corki. So a very good performance by him, but unfortunately not enough. We'll see what happens when we come back for Game 2. It's coming up in just a few minutes.